Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, the producer. Thanks for joining us. We were away for a couple of episodes there for our regularly scheduled programming, but we're back. We were invited out to Texas and had a truly wonderful time. It was just an amazing experience. We were invited out by Teresa Lopez and Rosalina Lopez, who own this Serenity Star charity out in Texas. And we were able to visit a couple of their locations and speak to their volunteers who run the cafes and give a personalized reading. Christopher was able to do that. So to everyone there, and it was just the most incredible experience, and I'm so grateful to have been able to be there and share with you all. So everyone who's out there joining us, be sure to say something in the chat. If it's your very first time, don't be shy. There's no charge for the first time, but going forward after that, it's just $10 per card, or you can pay $100 and cover the entire month for readings, which is a great deal since we run 3 shows per week. That's Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Arizona time. So, thanks for listening to me. Enjoy the show. Here's Christopher.
Great evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. We checked Facebook, right?
Yes.
We have a
Laura.
list?
Yeah,
Okay.
Laura's on there, yeah.
Okay, good. Laura, thanks for being here on Facebook. Awesome. It was so great to actually meet all of you. Well, Laura is here tonight. You were there, so it's great to have you. So I'm going to do a little bit longer reading for all of you that pay for the month. So Marilyn, John, Abby, Marilyn, and Laura. So that worked out really good. And there's a Mary Hopkins that just joined. Okay. So the group card tonight is called the Heart Portal, and the title of the show was Paradigm Shift. So I love this card because it goes along with the weekend that we spent in San Antonio with Teresa and Ashley and Laura and Rosalina and so many others. Precious, the most precious people you'd really ever want to meet. People that are working for a cause, that are really truly contributing to the world and to others. The service was unbelievable. I know when I was speaking, Laura jumped up. Thank you, Laura, for jumping up and getting me a drink. I really, really appreciate that. But this heart portal is really important, especially when it comes to a paradigm shift, especially for those of us that have been hurt by love, or what we have defined as love, or our perception of love and how we've been raised. So that's one of the great things about a paradigm shift, dealing with the heart portal. So we went to San Antonio. We thought, well, maybe, we don't want to bother anybody. We don't want to put anybody out. And we thought, well, we'll go to SeaWorld or something. Well, we actually very seldom even left the house unless we were going out to eat, because Teresa and Ashley and Rosalina treated us like kings. They basically sat and talked for 4 days, other than Monday, which was the day we did the seminar. And there were 60 people present. And, Laura, I know you must have loved it. I'd love any feedback that you can type as briefly as you want into Facebook. And Jessica Marie, thanks for being here. Naomi, nice to have you. So this heart portal was important, and Kenan and I saw it in action. So Teresa and Rosalina founded this charity called Serenity Star. You can look it up, serenitystar.com, in San Antonio, Texas. And they do such a purposeful work. So They they have 3 cafes, and we saw 2 of them in San Antonio. The third one is in Smithville, about 2 hours north, where Laura lives. And these cafes are only open on weekend. The menus have no prices. So you talk about a paradigm shift. But whatever people contribute, because it's a charity for the food, it benefits the people, but it also benefits the charity. It benefits Serenity Star. And it turns out that people are very generous. They understand in San Antonio the work that is being done there. Ken and I did drive up north about 20 minutes to a little town called Helotes. And we walked into a coffee shop and he goes, "Oh, you're from Comfort Cafe," because we had the Comfort Cafe t-shirts on. So everybody around there knows the work that you're doing there, Laura and Jessica, and they understand the good that you're giving back. So this is dealing with the heart portal. This is about abundantly, first of all, giving to yourself. It's about healing yourself. And all of these people that we met were devoted to healing themselves. So they attend the AA meetings, but they also attend the yoga, they attend the Qigong, they attend many other meetings that I really even couldn't keep track of. But it was all to build the self and to build the love of yourself. And being able then in turn to freely receive. That's extremely important, to be open to receive. And it helps you to love from your true soul. And that's what we experienced. One of my greatest memories was this little gentleman, Native American, and he came up, and to thank us, he gave us each an arrowhead. I lost it. I was just really moved by that. So, Laura, if you see Seth, give him a big hug again for me, would you? Because I thought that was really, really important. So, let's get on the show tonight. Yeah, Laura says the experience was amazing. So much healing happened during the seminar with Christopher and Kenan. Everyone was grateful for the opportunity to be present for the message. Thank you so much, Laura. That really means a lot. So this is the heart portal. This is about an expanse of love. More love coming into your life and being able to accept that and being able to let go of what you think love looks like. Okay. All right, my dear Marilyn. And Marilyn's birthday was yesterday, day before. Happy birthday, Marilyn. We all wish you happy birthday. So the card was the heart portal, which is love. Marilyn, you've got the love card. So when situations come up that might be a little challenging with neighbors or family or whatever, use that as a gauge to go, this is an opportunity for me to expand the love. Not necessarily the love about that person's behavior or the love of the situation, but actually the love of the actual person who's simply acting out on things that he learned or she learned that are simply not correct. So these can be very challenging sometimes. So many people are in ignorance of what love actually is, or they're unconscious. To give you an example, we were at the airport, and there was a mother and her 2 small daughters. So Ken and I gave up our seats, and the mother had to go run and get something to drink for the girls. And immediately, a man and woman sat down next to these little girls, took the mother's seat. And it was really easy to get upset about that, but they just did it in ignorance. They didn't do it on purpose. They weren't even aware that there was a mother around. And they were an older couple, so it would have been easy to get upset about that, but you don't know what's going on or what happened to those people that ended up taking those seats. That's an example, Marilyn, that happened to us this weekend, that you could get really pulled out and judgment about those two older people. And the mother came back, and for all we knew, she could have cared less, because it was only about 5-minute wait till the plane started boarding anyway. So it's about letting go, but using every situation is, how can I show more love in this situation? And sometimes love is doing nothing at all, especially if you're dealing with narcissists. They can constantly be trying to egg you on, bait you, and the best response, the true loving response for yourself, is to simply not respond and just stay quiet. That's one of the things that Teresa and I talked about this weekend. All right, we'll pull another card here for you, Marilyn. This is no surprise. The Moon card, your abilities. So you sent me some pictures of, for your birthday, you went to the ocean, you went to the beach, and they were really incredible pictures. I was going to try to pull them up, but the last reading that we had with you, Marilyn, there was a full reading for, when we did the private reading, we talked about there was this beach, and there was these rocks on the beach that were really important for you. And then you mentioned that you and Larry got married right in that area. But then you sent me pictures of where you felt this portal was, and it was absolutely right on. That's an example of the Moon card, Marilyn, of things really waking up. So, do you know, it's said that when Da Vinci carved David, the statue David, that all he did was knock away the material or the rock that wasn't supposed to be there, and David was already in there. So this is like your ability for stones. For instance, when you went for your birthday and you bought stones, that's what's important with you, is to look beyond the stone, or to look at what is ordinary, like a big piece of granite, and look what's inside. We can look at situations. Oh, Jameson and Gina got on. Great to have you guys. We stayed with Jameson at the house, so that was wonderful. It was great to meet you too, Gina. So this is you looking at insurmountable situations, Marilyn, like a big granite piece of rock, and going, there's a David inside of here. There's a masterpiece inside this situation that looks insurmountable, that looks impossible to break through. And you ask Spirit, you ask the universe, you ask Source to help chip away at it, knock away the pieces that don't belong, and look at the beauty inside. This is one of your major abilities. Okay. John. Okay, John. Thanks for picking us up at the airport. John was a trooper. Yeah, so John, you got the New Beginnings card. The Fool Child. It's like a new start. And it can be really uncomfortable at first, especially as we get older, get in our 40s and 50s, to start something brand new can be challenging. But this is approaching it from a child's perspective. To continually have that childlike outlook. That is what makes you so precious, John. It is this a fresh new look, fresh new eyes, and a child doesn't necessarily jump to judgment. They are curious. Stay with your curiosity and look at why this is happening and go for it. You're going to be taking not chances, but doing things that you wouldn't normally do. Go ahead and do them. Like, I didn't know why I was going to San Antonio, but now that I'm back, I know. I got to meet Jameson, Gina, Laura, all of you that are on the show, and it also then completely changed our lives. I'll tell you all more about it as the days progress and we move toward what we're hoping to create. All right, got another one, John. So, I'll bring over some sage and some incense. You're needing to clean your house. You've got the so this trip was good for us, but when we got to the San Antonio airport, the plane was 3 hours late. And so it kind of felt like we were kind of stuck there because we didn't really want to leave and go out and then come back through security. And we realized when we got home that we were picking up on other people's confusion is if there was a plane, were they going to be able to get on the plane? Were they going to have to cancel the flight? Were they going to have to stay in a hotel? And there were all these people around us that were angry and confused. So you've had some people in your house that had that. Not a clear vision. And it doesn't mean that they just didn't have a clear vision as to what was going on. And they left some residual energy there. Okay. And I'll call you later. John and I talk a couple times a week. Okay, Abby. Sorrow is not a bad thing. Sorrow is a way to it's basically a process. It's one of these things that we came to Earth to experience. And it leaves, but sometimes you just have to simply sit with a person and kind of allow them to go through that sorrow process if there's a loss. And Abby, there's no better person to have come. There's no better person. If any of us are going through sorrow, there's no better person than Abby to come sit with you. It's not about the need to say anything. Or one of the things I read years ago in Dear Abby. Oh, it was funny. Remember Dear Abby? Oh, I know Dear Abby. Okay, that's too funny. I just kind of popped that out. I didn't realize. But remember in Dear Abby, she used to write this newspaper column for some of the younger people. And Dear Abby said one time that she had a family member die. And the thing that she remembered most, people are always getting these condolences. Oh, I'm so sorry, the light of God is with you. She goes, those were all nice. But the people that really helped was the woman that came over and started polishing everybody's shoes. Another woman came over and just did all of her dishes. It was actually coming and doing and being with the sorrow. But she said what it did is it served almost as a distraction, and it helped her. It helped her move to a period of being grateful for the woman that was polishing her shoes or polishing the family shoes or doing the dishes. It was helping her move that sorrow into grace and gratitude. So understand that that's one of your powers, Abby, because Dear Abby said so. Okay. We talked about this today. So everything is created twice. When you do, Abby makes these incredible wreaths, and it's called Wreath It by Abby. So when you do this wreath, when you're in this creative mode, it's created twice. So I talked to you today about meditation. She goes, I sometimes have a really hard time just sitting and meditating. But you're making your wreaths are meditation. It is your form of meditating. You're in this creative mode. And sometimes meditation looks different for different people. This is the inventor card where everything is created twice. So this pen was created twice. First, it was created in someone's imagination. Then it was drawn out on paper, and then it was created into the material realm. This is your ability to create things, but never underestimate that downtime when you're in that creative mode. It's building new neural pathways and creating even something bigger and better so that you're more aware of when that bigger and better comes into your field. You see it, you know it. Hope that makes sense. And my dear Marilyn, so October-November timeframe, you're at this. I've talked about learning. There is no such thing as a learning curve. There is I'm here, I'm making no progress. Why am I not making any progress? I don't feel like I'm moving. I'm not doing anything. Blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, boom, you move up. You jump up. And then you're here at this level for a long time, it feels like, and then boom, you jump up. That's true learning. It's like getting ahas. So we talked a little bit about the classes you're taking. In October, November, that is going to help you jump here, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and even health-wise. It's like a breakthrough. It's like all this time and effort, even if it's a lifetime, right? You can spend 50, 60 years at this level and then all of a sudden jump. This is like the jumping card. This is pulling in the blessings from all the work you've done, all the knowledge you've created, everything you put into practice, and it's creating something beautiful and new. Then you've got the growth card. So you've got the harvest and then the growth. So it exponentially builds on itself. So you harvest and then you replant. And then you harvest and you replant. You harvest, replant, grow, harvest. This is the growth card. And this is like leapfrogging. Jumping, 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 with a very short interval of this. This is where you're really beginning to jump. And you can never assume that people are going to understand it. So sometimes you have to talk to people like a child and explain it to people like you would a child. Never assume that they're going to get it. That's the effect of a really good teacher. So it shows that you'll be teaching more, teaching of what is absolute, the inner workings of the universe. Wow. All right, my dear Laura. Laura, this is nurturing. This is girl, you need more manure. You need more you need more grounding. And you're getting more grounding. It's not about needing, it's about you're going to be getting more grounding, more nurturing of yourself. Because a tree can only put out the amount of fruit that it's nurtured, how much it's nurtured, how much water, how much manure, how much fertilizer it has. This is you being better and getting better at fertilizing yourself, at giving yourself the nutrients, the time, the space. Oh, okay, that's it. It's the space. Anyone and anywhere where you're allowing people to invade your space, are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate? Inappropriately, without asking, invading your space. And are you willing to get better at not allowing those people to do that? In other words, you call the shots. And taking better care of yourself, because when I get tired, I can get a little grouchy, or when at the airport, I can get overwhelmed, and I can even forget. Oh, it wasn't until I got home I went, okay, this is what happened. This is why I was a little bit overwhelmed. Also, I take Gundry, Gundry. His name is Dr. Stephen. Is it Stephen Gundry? Gundry. On Amazon, I get his. What's that?
It is.
Could you grab those? I'm going to show them.
Yeah,
I'll show you, Laura, what we get. Um, they're literal fruits that are gummies. Yeah, they're called Mighty Reds.
Yeah, if you maybe pull it a little closer next to the card, will focus.
Okay, next to the card.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's called whoop. Yeah, they're called Mighty Reds, and I order them from Amazon. Anyway, I won't go into it, but that will help as well. And then Laura, you've got the this is playing more. Can you create more of a game out of what you're already doing? Are you willing to create more of a game so it feels like play? So when I get up in the morning and I go, oh, I've got to go to work, Kenan goes, nope, you get to go to work. And I go, oh yeah, I get to go to work. And so I've just reframed everything I do go is I get to do this. I get to go play in this field. I get to do this, and it changes the perspective on everything. Absolutely everything. All right, my dear Naomi. Hola. Are you willing to see through this is the delusion card. Are you willing to see through the delusion that what you're doing is not special, or who you are is not special? That's it. So I'm gonna send this out to Jameson, Gina, Mary, Jessica, all of you that are on the show. Are you willing to let go of the idea that who you are and what you do is just common? Are you willing to shatter that delusion and go into what I do and who I am is extremely special? Like 4 years ago, I read for this gentleman who introduced me to Doreen, who introduced me to a woman named Chris, who introduced me to Jessica, who introduced me to Ashley, who introduced me to Teresa. And from that, our lives have changed dramatically and are going to be changing more dramatically. You don't know the effect, Naomi, like when one of your paintings sells, 10 years down the road, what's going to come from that? Who's going to look you up? What gallery is going to see it? It's like knowing what you do is extremely important, and knowing your art is important, and who you are is important. Okay, Jess, here we go. And we got Jared and Kat on there. Are they on the list?
Yes.
Okay. So Jessica, this is the Priestess and the Synergy card. So I'm gonna address the Priestess first. You're not affecting just a small part of the world. No one affects what is true in the microcosm is true in the macrocosm. So what we're creating isn't just in a small corner of our world, in a small way. This is having effects on the multiverse, it's sending out energies and vibrations and expanding and expansion. So it's important to be all that we are and who we are, and authentic. Absolutely authentic. That vibration, the vibration of authenticity, is even higher, stronger, and greater than the vibration of love. So this is your corner of the world. The work that you're doing is really important. And there's synergistic things coming together. And down the road, I'll be able to tell you all one of these stories of what happened to us in San Antonio that I think your sister actually may have already told you, but it was a hoot. These synergistic things that are coming more in alignment with you. Trust the synergy of the universe. Never think things didn't work out the way you thought. How about expanding that and going, oh, they're working out perfectly for me. Absolutely perfectly for me. Okay? And then, Mary?
Yeah, man.
All right,
Laura
Mary.
just came on too. Laura was there.
Laurel?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Mary. Get used to movement. It's really important for you to move more rather than be, you get to move rather than being put out to move or being upset or angry about moving or making movement or making progress, moving bigger, moving better. John, we were talking, John's a realtor, and he was talking about if you're going to move up. So Mary, I'm going to tell you the same thing. If you're moving, move up. Rather than think about all your bills, think about making more money. How can I make more money? Because the idea of bills can bring you down. The idea of making more money brings you up, pays off your bills. All right, my dear Gina and Jameson. Gina, Devil's Play. You got a card tonight, so I have to tell everybody. Gina was at the show at the event on Monday, and what we did is Teresa and Ashley and Kenan and I got there early, and nobody knew, but there were cards taped underneath their chair. So Ken and I and Teresa, we got to talk a little bit to the group before it started, and then we had everybody stand up, and Ken took it through some exercises, and then we had everybody reach under their chair. Gina was the only one that didn't get a card. Now, here's the interesting thing. In not getting a card, she got a card. This is that all possibilities are open to you. It's understanding how freaking magical you are. And this is the Devil's Play card. This is really, really coloring outside the box, Gina. This is going against convention, but absolutely, are you willing to let go of the need to fit in anywhere or with anyone, but simply be yourself, because you're extraordinary. Like, you were one of the highlights of our trip meeting you, is you've got this Devil's Play, which is it's this it's letting I'm getting excited. It's letting go of the devil, or that the devil's bad, or even the concept of the devil, and letting go of that self-judgment and play. This is about, does this feel like play to me? Is this fun to me? Then do that. And this is you coming more into your awareness of your gifts. Amazing gifts. Amazing. All right, my dear Jameson. Okay. So Jameson, this is the dullness. Be free of confusing lazy for recharging. It's important for you to take time for yourself and recharge. You're needing a little bit of dullness. And every time so when you use the restroom, you flush. Standard policy. This is flushing all the shoulds. You know, like, I should do this, I should have done that. This is more about choice and choosing what is going to work for you. Because so Jameson made seriously the best cheesecake I have had in my entire life. It was a coffee cheesecake with Oreo crust, and I forget the topping, but it was just like, I'm coming, Lord, I'm coming now. It was that good. It was just off the charts. I wish I could have brought it home with me. And it takes this love and kindness and some downtime, and then when you go in to create something like that, it's just off the charts. Okay.
Next you got
Jared and Kat and Laura. Okay, Jared, Kat, Laurel, Shafi, and Dottie. Okay. All right. Jared. Setback and Seer. Very similar colors. So you've done all this work to build a fire. Understand there's a point where the coals can be hotter than the fire, or the coals can cook greater, like in Hawaii, where they roast a pig. Now, I'm not a roasted pig expert, but I've seen them do it, where they build a fire and then they let the coals, they stop stoking the fire and they let the coals cook it for many hours. This is this fire of the universe cooking this for you. Be free of thinking that because it's not a huge bonfire, it's not doing anything. It's absolutely doing anything. And this is the seer. This is your ability to see past. It's like looking at the energy of what it is that you're wanting to creating. You're wanting to create or creating now, and not looking at well, it has to be a huge flame. There has to be something happening. It is happening, but it's happening on a lower, it's like coals. It's happening on a more intense level, but not like when you look at coals, sometimes you don't even see the fire underneath. It just looks like black rocks, and you don't even know how hot it is. Lava forms a black crust, but it can be really super thin. That's why you never want to go walking on lava fields, right? Bad news. This is your ability to see that. No, absolutely know that everything is happening for you in its own time. Wait for it, see it. Oh, chocolate ganache topping. Thanks, Jameson. Chocolate ganache. Anyway, it was out of this world. That was one of my takeaways for the trip, by the way, Jameson. And you used to live in the shoulds. So can you cancel, clear, delete what you wrote where you said I live in the shoulds? Just go, I used to live in the shoulds, and understand that the shoulds is not a neighborhood in San Antonio. The shoulds is not a neighborhood in any town or city with any of us. Okay.
That's good.
Okay. And then we got Jared, a cat. Okay, here we go, cat. Yeah, so cat, downtime, regenerator card, ocean time. Your staff is going to take care of this. So this is similar to Jared's, but it's said in a different way. You regenerate, your staff will take care of everything. And you know what I'm talking about when I say staff, your people, your angels, your guides. They got this, and I'm going to share this with everybody on the show. It's not that you don't do. When I went to San Antonio, every one of you were the hardest working people I've ever seen. It was extremely exceptional. Gina, Jameson, Laura, all of you that I met there, extremely hard workers. And it's not that you don't work hard, but be free of worrying about how it's going to work out. Your staff has got this, cat. Courage is expansive. Universe, show me what it is that I'm actually afraid of. It's like hearing a noise in the middle of the night and having the courage to get up and find out what it is. Yeah, you can absolutely have a baseball bat or a taser, but wonder if it's just a valve on the refrigerator. It's not anything that you have to work on. It just is something you have, cat. And then So once you so this is the regenerator card that you got, but then you've got this. So you've heard about mothers that can lift a log off their child, like a tree. Then you've got, I mean, it's an incredible adrenaline rush. It's a rush of spirit, energy, and just inhuman power to be able to do something like that. But then you've got to allow your body to reset. So you've got to regenerate. So this is very similar to the regeneration card, and giving yourself some time. You don't have to have your courage light on all the time. It's like having your engine light on all the time. Courage is good, but it's not good when you're on that like a survival all the time. Or wondering how it's going to work out, Be free of wasting your energy. Your staff has this. All right, my dear Laurel. Song that popped in my head was I've looked at clouds from both sides now, from near and far, and still somehow it's clouds illusions I recall. I really don't know clouds at all. Laurel, it's reestablishing your sense of wonder. And are you willing to let go of the need to define anything and everything? There's more freedom coming to you, more peace, more opportunity, more doors. And the elimination of self-judgment. Yeah, and then the death card, Laurel, is absolute new beginnings. A whole restructuring. The death card never means death. It's just a restructuring. There's not a greater change in someone's life than moving from a physical body into a spiritual one. You're moving into a much higher level of vibration, which means the old way of doing things or the old way of thinking is moving out. Okay. Shafi, great to have you. It's been a while. It's been a minute. So the fear card, Shafi, is about energy goes where attention flows. And if your energy is going toward what isn't working out, what you're afraid of happening, that's where the energy is going to go. It's actually going to create what it is that you're afraid. It can cause it to happen because your energy is going toward the fear, and the universe goes, okay, well, I guess he just wants more fear, and creates more fear. This is also more traveling overseas, over oceans. All right, Dottie. Well, Dottie, fulfillment. This feeling of fulfillment, it's contagious. People understand viruses, Dottie. They understand bacteria. But at the same time, the feelings of love, fulfillment, meaning, those are absolutely contagious as well. You have an aura, it's one of your superpowers, where living a fulfilled life helps other people to create and live a full life. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, but this is coming through really strong. This is coming through from like parents, and that you fulfill their lives. And you don't have to have children or a lover or family around you. It's the people you come in contact with, and they sense it about you, and it activates that fulfillment in them.
Yeah, a little pop up on YouTube just now doing more card in the phone.
Who is it for?
It says I am on time if they're using it. I don't know, it was called.
Okay. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll do this again Sunday night. Love you all. If you have any feedback, be sure to instant message me, text me, call me. Love you all. Good night.